The entire country is freezing cold. But if you want to take a seat around the NBA campfire, we'll keep you warm, or at the very least, we'll keep you entertained. New episode of Modern Flame starts right now.
Boom.
Boom. Um, Vin,
Should we take a look at our predictions?
yeah, we're halfway through the regular season, over halfway through the regular season. Um, that's startling to me. I can't believe
Yes.
that much of the regular season is gone. Um, so yeah, we thought it was a perfect time to revisit our preseason predictions, maybe modify them a little bit, and then we're going to wrap things up with some all-star reserve selections. Um, so we never potted. Potted? We never did a pod? What's the correct terminology for that?
I
I don't
think,
know.
yeah.
We never did a pod about our preseason predictions. We did post them to our Instagram, which you can find right here.
Right there.
Here,
Right there.
I'll insert it. That'll
Yep.
be a cool editing trick. Um, we posted it to our Instagram. I put it on my blog. Um, let's start with MVP. And I guess we could roll in Defensive Player of the Year too,
Yeah.
because we both selected Victor Wembanyama for both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Um, is he? I don't know. Let's do this. MVP. If you had to put a ballot out right now, what's your ballot look like?
Ooh. Probably.
Actually, let me rephrase the
Oh,
question
that's a
first.
tough. That's tough. Yeah, I don't.
Has Wembanyama played in enough games and played enough minutes for you to be considering him MVP still,
No.
or consider him an MVP candidate?
No. And that is why I'm struggling with my ballot here. He's played in 31 games, but he's only started in 22 because of the load management, time management. Didn't start in the cup play-in or playoffs. Um, so no, unfortunately, no. My answer would be no. His team is obviously still doing very well when he's playing. He's very efficient. He's putting up big numbers. Um, I don't think he's played enough for me to fully go MVP. He is averaging 24.5 and 11. So he's putting up really solid numbers. His defense is outstanding. Spurs are an awesome team, especially when he's on the floor. I just struggle to think that 22 games starting is MVP caliber. But what are your thoughts on that?
So right now, I don't necessarily. Oh, man, it's tough. Cause like we'll get to the other candidates. So here's my thinking: if Wembanyama actually manages to get to that 65 game threshold, and he can only afford to miss three more games, um, but if he gets there, and the Spurs are still second in the West, and he's still averaging right around like 25, 11, 3 assists, close to 3 blocks per game. I think that would be enough for me to at least have him on my ballot. I don't know that that's enough to be the MVP favorite, but if he plays in 68 games and they're a 60-win team, I don't know how you could not have him, especially because of how good defensively he is. I think if he gets to the 65 games, he should probably be a lock to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
And that should maybe be the case every year moving forward, just because I don't think that there's a player in the league who impacts the game defensively on every possession like he does. Even if it doesn't come up as a block or a steal, he affects everything every opposing offense does. You have to rethink the way you play when he's on the floor. It's actually to the point where a while back I called him Gen Z Wilt Chamberlain. I actually think he's more Gen Z Bill Russell.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great
Just with the
joke.
way he plays, he's not going out for his numbers like Wilt did.
No.
Everything with him is the team.
Yep.
And I think that the best case scenario for him isn't necessarily that he's putting up numbers that we've never seen. It's that he's having the kind of defensive impact that maybe a player hasn't had since Bill Russell.
Yeah, I mean, like I think there was a Ant quote. I think it was like a week or so ago. At the end of the game, Wemby got switched on to Ant, and Ant actually ended up finishing like a running hook over him, and the Timberwolves actually ended up winning. But they interviewed him after the
Great
game.
game.
Great game. And they interviewed Ant after the game, and he was like, "When I got the ball, I didn't know what to do. Like it's people don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Like he's so long that it's really hard to create space to get a shot off. But then if you attack him, he's going to recover and he's going to impact your finish. So yeah, like his defense is unbelievable. That's like the Russell comparison comes in. I think another thing that kind of helps him with the MVP ballot is like Jokic has also missed, 14 games. So like if you're gonna put Joker on, you kind of have to put Wemby on. I think they both probably, should be there. It's just the games played that's going to impact that. So
I mean, I think that Jokic was probably cruising to MVP before he got hurt.
Yes.
And now
Yeah.
he could only afford to miss 2 more games. He's not going to have enough games. Like he's not coming back within their next 2. But we're going to get to the end of the year, and no matter how many games he plays, his numbers are going to they're going to be video game numbers. I mean, he was averaging 30, 12, and 11
Yeah.
with 61% shooting
Yep.
and a 35.9 PER, which would shatter his own single season record for PER. But he's not going to get enough games. Is the front runner Shea then?
Yeah.
It's
It
gonna. I think you look at him. He's played 44 games. They're 35-9 when he plays, 2-0 without him. He's averaging 32 points per game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. The shooting numbers are excellent, as you'd expect. A 31.3 PER. The Thunder are probably going to have the best record in the NBA at season's end, and there's a chance that his numbers will be superior to last season. So yeah, I think he's probably safely number 1. Where it gets interesting though is after that, because 2 through 5, I think you could make a compelling case for like
Jalen Brown.
4, 5, 6 other guys, and
Yeah.
that includes Wembanyama. Where do you stand after Shea?
I think you probably start to go out to the east.
Yeah.
You look at Cade and you look at Jaylen Brown. Obviously, I think both those teams weren't really expected to be where they are currently, and a lot of it has to do with both those players. Jaylen Brown's been putting out just unbelievable numbers, certainly career highs all over the place. And then, Cade has just been rock solid for Detroit. He's got Detroit at the 1 seed with a really young nucleus. He's averaging 25, 10, and 5. So I would probably go those two, go 2, 3. And then Wemby is kind of lurking if he could get the games in. That would probably round out. But what are your thoughts on that?
Could I make a case for Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah, I mean, Philly's got this really fun thing going. They're, in 6th place in the East. He's balling. Yeah, I think that he definitely gets some votes.
So, they're not going to have enough wins. He's not going to win MVP unless, for some reason, they go on just a tear over the second half. And even if they end up, winning the East with 50 wins, 55 wins. I mean, we're stretching it here. But he's averaging 30 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists per game, leading the league in minutes per game, 2 steals per game for good measure, and a block per game, shooting 47% from the field, 39% from three-point range, 88% from the line. His case is kind of unassailable at this point. He's indisputably, I think, having one of the. I think he's got to be top 5 MVP ballot.
Does he?
I don't
he go over Luka? Are you taking him over Luka? Because I think that's
I
kind of
actually
where.
would.
Yeah.
I actually would, and
because right
Luka
now
is
Luka is at 33, 9 and 8, and the Lakers are 5th in the West. Now I don't think they're going to finish 5th. I think actually Philadelphia might have a better chance of finishing higher in the East than LA does in the West. So I think by the year's end, you might have an argument with that too.
I just continue to be remarkably impressed by Maxey. Not only how well he's playing, but people in Philadelphia seem to adore him.
Yeah,
And I think that this Sixers team has a chance to be a really beloved team in a city that can be a little cranky toward their own teams.
Yep.
And they have been toward the Sixers in the past, but there's none of that.
No.
It seems like every game in Philadelphia, the fans are just in a state of euphoria, and I think Maxey is the biggest reason why, and that to me is why I'd give him the edge over Luka. Things in LA just don't seem to be all that happy, and I don't know that I don't think that that's his fault, but I do think that is at least partially a reflection of who your best player is.
Yeah, I also think it has a lot to do with last year was so miserable for Philadelphia that
True.
This is just such a breath of fresh air. Last year they bring in Paul George and Embiid's coming off the Olympics, and you think, okay, this is going to be the year where we, finally get through. And it just turned out horribly for them. They're able to keep their pick, thankfully, and they bring in this really, fresh, young VJ Edgecombe who fits perfectly with Maxey, and they give kind of those 2 young guards the keys, and they play an exciting brand. But yeah, I mean, overall, the vibes are better in Philly. I'm wondering if maybe we'll see that breath of fresh air come next year for the Lakers when one of their bigger players maybe moves off the team. I think that.
Who would that be?
Have you heard of LeBron? I'm not. His last name's James. So.
What? LeBron?
Yeah. Yeah, LeBron. Yep.
So
He's
here's the
playing
thing:
the game.
we're lagging as all this is going on. The joke is not going to hit because Vin's lagging. I think I'm lagging on his end.
Yep.
Riverside, man,
Yep.
Riverside. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I give you my money every month. Like there's so much I love about you guys, but let's get this together. Who in the IT department or whatever department? I don't know how these things work. Get it together. I,
We're
I
gonna
don't
have
want
to
to have to
figure.
keep giving you a piece of my mind.
That's right. That's right. But I do think that Luca will find his footing in LA, and there'll be happy moments. It's not going to come, now, especially after some of the news just broke with former Lakers owner and all of those headlines that are swirling. So yeah, maybe Maxey just is the better fit this year.
Yeah. No, I mean Luca has been sensational, as always. Like he's doing exactly what we expected of him, and statistically probably even a little more. Um, I think the only other two guys that I would throw in there in the mix are Anthony Edwards. Minnesota's kind of tailed off a little bit over the last couple weeks, but quietly averaging about 30 points per game. And then Jalen Brunson, and again, the Knicks are another team that have just what the hell's going on with the Knicks, man?
Yeah,
That's bad vibes central.
talk
It
about
feels like right
vibes.
now.
Yeah, that's not it. Those are not the vibes you want. It seems like everything's kind of getting aimed at Cat. Um, I'd be interested to see what happens this offseason. We also just have Dolan just came out and said that he thinks his team should win the championship. He'd be shocked if they don't at least get there. I think that this probably comes to an end maybe at the deadline, but I think probably more likely at the end of the year. They got really close last year. They fired their coach, and everything has gone downhill since.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I
Uh,
mean, they win the cup. There's something with the cup because they did win the NBA Cup. If you think about the champions, I mean, you have the Bucks, the Lakers, and now the Knicks. It's the third straight year where after winning the NBA Cup, those teams seem to nosedive.
yeah, that's kind of strange. And then the, I mean that is a good sign for San Antonio
Yeah, because they
because you
lose.
have Indiana. Oh my God, my cat just clawed the hell out of me. Hi, hi. Do you want to talk about the NBA Cup?
It's cold. You got to join the campfire.
Yeah. Now you're stepping on my nose. Okay. Can we? Anyway, so you have the Pacers. They're runner up in the first one. They go to the East Finals that year, and then go to the NBA Finals the next year. The Thunder are the runner up last year. They win the title. Good. I mean,
Yeah, good signs.
good sign for San Antonio. Coach of the year.
Ooh,
I picked David Adelman.
good pick.
You picked Jamal Mosley.
Not a good pick.
No. Who would you say the front runner is right now? Because I don't necessarily think it's Adelman, though. This recent stretch where Denver has actually played reasonably well without Jokic, I think may have helped his cause. And it's definitely not Jamal Mosley.
No.
But who would you give it to right now?
I mean, just looking at the standings, J- JB, I don't know if they would do that. But he's first in the East on a team that I think people didn't really expect this to happen. Um, he's having a hell of a year. I just don't know if they would do that. I like Edelman. Like, to me, I think that the run without Jokic has been huge for him. The fact that they were able to have the best player in the league miss 14 games and they stay, they actually go up in the standings.
Yeah.
Um, it's to me a first year coach doing that. He's gotten a lot of solid production from younger players that they hadn't gotten production out of under their former coach. So it's funny too because like they fired their GM, they fired their coach last year, and there's this big, fight about playing their young guys, and this stretch without Jokic has made them play their young guys, and their young guys have delivered. So I don't know. I would go Adelman. I think you can't argue JB too. But what are you thinking?
So to me, I felt like Adelman's in the mix. The and JB is too. And I think that if the Pistons do have the best record in the East, maybe JB has the leg up. But I would throw out Missoula for
Yeah, that's a good
getting
one.
this season out of Boston without Tatum
Yep.
when kind of everyone was expecting that it would be a gap year for them and they might get in the tank early, but they're second in the East. If they remain second in the East going into the playoffs, I think Missoula would have a really good shot. And the other guy to me is Jordan Ott
Yeah.
in Phoenix. I mean, I did not think that they were going to be a playoff team. I didn't even have them in the play-in in the West. I think before the year I had them like 12th in the Western Conference. The vibes there are just fantastic. I don't know how much of that is him and new coach. They get Beal out of there. Durant leaves. Maybe like not having that win now pressure, but like Phoenix is a fun watch, and I feel like he's been doing a great job. I'd also just as like honorable mention, I'd throw Mitch Johnson in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd throw Mark Dagnall in there. And just kind of always, I'd throw Spoelstra in there, especially this year, for overhauling Miami's offense so much. They're probably going to end up being a play-in team, but even still, what he's getting out of that group and just kind of changing things on the fly, I think, is a testament to how good of a coach he is.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year. We both pick Cooper Flag. I think the big question is can Con Knipple or VJ Edgecombe catch him? And with Edgecombe, I think the case is this. The numbers need to improve a little bit because statistically he hasn't been as good as either of your Duke guys. But if his numbers tick up a little bit and Philadelphia is playing in meaningful games in March and April where Dallas and Charlotte won't be, maybe that gives Edgecombe a little bit of a bump. Where do you stand? How would you rank those three guys right now? And is there somebody else who you would want to kind of throw in as a fourth honorable mention?
No, I think it's those three guys. I do. I think it's a good rookie class. Like I think Dylan Harper's been really solid. I think we talked about Cedric Howard. He's been solid. It's overall it's a good rookie class. Those three though are kind of getting the most shine. I would be interested though. I don't think we count out Cooper and Khan quite yet in playing meaningful games late in the year.
They could get in the playing mix.
I do kind of, oddly enough, again, I watch too much Hornets basketball. I'm starting to like the way that they're playing. Over like the last 10 games, I feel like LaMelo has bought in a little bit more. We're seeing a little bit more Brandon Miller. Miles Bridges has had a solid year, and Khan, to me, has kind of been their best player. So I do think if they're fighting for a play-in, that could help. I think Dallas also, I'm fully bought in that they're not trading Anthony Davis or Kyrie. They want to see what that team looks like with all of them together. Right now, they're a game out of the play-in. And I think if Cooper's close and playing in meaningful games, he's going to just run away with it just because of the spotlight on him. And I mean, he has had a really solid year. So I would probably still go Cooper. But again, I think that Edgecombe and Khan will challenge him late in the year if they're all, playing in meaningful games.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I would give Cooper the slight edge, though. I can't believe how much I've been impressed with Con Knipple. I mean, he's got me to watch more Hornets basketball this year than anybody since Kemba and Al Jefferson
Mm-hmm.
have.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be on his Rookie of the Year resume. Um, yeah, like you said, Cedric Coward, that was a slam dunk pick for Memphis. Harper, he's playing the most meaningful minutes on a nightly basis. He's only playing 21 minutes per game off San Antonio's bench, but that's the best team of all
Yep.
these in the mix.
Yep.
Derek Queen's the only other guy who I'd throw in there, putting up pretty decent numbers for a Pelicans team that, man, what are they gonna do? Like, is there a franchise that is maybe more like aimless than the Pelicans without having their first round pick this year? Like, what is Zion? What is this roster? I just
I and like
Queen's kind of the lone bright spot.
yeah, I mean, I do think Zion's played well enough to up his value over.
Yeah, no,
He's played relatively. It's weird because they do have like a decent collection of young players. I was watching their game last night, and they won last night. Um, but like Trey Murphy, solid.
really
Zion, solid. Derek Queen. Um, Jeremiah Fears has had a good rookie year at point guard. You got Herb Jones, and for some reasons Sadiq Bey is like their leading scorer. They do have like a weird collection of young players. I'm interested to see if somehow they could make some trades to get some trade or some draft value back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't really entice them to tank because they don't have any of their own picks. So, like, do you just want to keep this crew together and just see where it goes in 2 years if you really believe in Derek Queen? You're right. There's not a lot of hope there. It's a very interesting organization. I don't know what they do necessarily.
That's actually too much time on the Pelicans, I think. Most improved player. I had Andrew Nemhard. You had Amen Thompson. Um, I actually stand by my Nemhard pick. He's not going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I stand by picking Indiana to make the playoffs too. They're not going to make the playoffs, just for anyone wondering. Um, like we covered it a month ago. I'm glad that Indiana is properly taking advantage of this gap year
Yep.
possibility that they've been forced into. But Nemhard's averaging 7 more points, 2 more assists per game than he did last year. He's been shooting the ball much better. And I do kind of feel justified. He had a really solid game in a win over Oklahoma City last night. He had 27, 7, and 11 on the road, beating the Thunder, who have the best record in the league. I don't think that Andrew Nemhard will win Most Improved Player. Amen Thompson, how are you feeling about that as your pick?
I feel good about it. And I think the reason why I picked him was because Fred Van Vliet got hurt, and he has to play point guard. For a team that's pretty solid in the West, I actually like the way they've been playing. I think they're fourth right now. He's currently averaging 18, about 8 rebounds and 5 assists. His points are up 4 points. His assists are up 2. And he's got to play a position that, he's not a point guard, but he's got to play point guard right now. Kind of similar to Cooper. And I think that's going to make him a better player overall. So I do think he's improving. And I think it's going to actually be a really beneficial year for him in the future. I don't think that he'll win, although I do think that, it's potential. I'm also curious, what about, Jalen Duren? I feel like that might be the guy who gets the nod, but I do still like the Thompson pick.
I would even throw out another Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, that's another
The
one.
potential candidate.
Yep.
There are some really good most improved player candidates this year.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson, almost averaging a triple-double. Jalen Duren, 18 points, 11 rebounds per game for the number 1 seed in the East. Denny Avdia,
Yeah, that's
all
another
of a
one.
sudden putting up LeBron numbers, 26, 7, and 7. Didn't have that one on my bingo card. Nice player, but the guy in Portland now. Even Michael Porter Jr. will be another guy. That's just
Yep.
more opportunities. Even a guy like Ryan Rollins.
Yeah.
His scoring's up 10 points per game, and that Milwaukee situation is not great. And I continue to be baffled every time that Giannis talks after a game. It's just
What's
we
up
need
with that situation?
we need this to come to an end.
Well, it's weird because, I don't want to be traded. I want to be in Milwaukee forever. But then you're booing the fans and you're saying if they're not with you, I'll boo you. And then you're coming out and calling out your teammates for, being about getting numbers. It's a very confusing... It's I'm kind of getting sick of the nice guy mentality with Giannis. If you want to be traded, just say you want to be traded. Stop with the, alternative motive, and it's just what's going on here? Why are we doing this? So
it's gotten to the point where when we did our Christmas list episode, we were on different sides of things. I said that I wanted Giannis to be traded over the summer. You wanted him to be traded in the regular season. I'm with you now. Just get it over. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yep.
Let's just move on. It's clearly broken. They're heading toward a divorce. I'd rather see Giannis playing meaningful minutes somewhere else. Let's
in New
just
York.
get it done.
In New York for Cat. Let's just do it.
Let's call it in. 6th man of the year. I had Josh Hart. You had Peyton Pritchard. There are a million different ways that you could look at this award. I feel comfortable with my Josh Hart pick. I felt like he's been pretty solid for them this year. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists per game, does all the dirty work. He's malleable to different kind of lineup groups. Peyton Pritchard, I like the thought of your pick, but he's just been a starter.
Right.
that kind of kills it before it even has a chance.
Yep.
You could throw Jaime Jaquez out there, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, Reed Shepard, A.J. Mitchell.
I think that's
our cousin
my
Johnny Lexer's former teammate, Beef Stew.
Right.
Keldon Johnson, love his energy and toughness and attitude off the Spurs bench. There are a lot of good options. I kind of find it difficult to differentiate between a lot of them.
Absolutely.
You said A.J. Mitchell was your...
Yeah, I just think that's a really solid pick. He's going to be on a winning team. He's a guy who just didn't play last year, and now he's a very valuable part to a team that's the best team in basketball. Maybe that too for most improved.
He might be on ballots for both. There's a very good chance that he'll be in the running for both of those awards. Okay, we have a hard out in 12 minutes. Let's do All-Star real quick.
Yeah.
So we know the starters for... I don't even want to say both the teams. There are 3 teams for the All-Star game now. Still unclear how they're all going to shake out. That remains a mystery, but we know Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Giannis Antetokounmpo are in the East. And then in the West, it's Steph Curry. Having an MVP caliber season, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Really solid Steph season. Warriors just aren't going to win enough games. So Steph, SGA, Luka, Wembanyama, Jokic in the West.
So the way that breaks out, though, is it's Team USA versus the world. So we do have 5-5. So,
But remember, we have 2 Team USA teams, which
Right.
That's the complicated thing to me. Is like, I don't know.
I'm interested how they do it because right now Team USA would be Brunson, Maxey, Steph, Jaylen Brown, and Cade. So not one post player, not one big man. The world team would be SGA, Luka, Giannis, Wemby, and Joker. So I would hope that they do some maneuvering with the bench, but I don't know.
I have no idea how they're going to do it. For me, this is more about like a ceremonial kind of you deserve to be an all-star snapshot of who mattered during the regular season. I don't even really care about the game itself. But to be able to say I have X many all-star nods in my career, I guess that still means something.
Yeah.
So let's run through reserves real quick. Let's start with the East. We'll go one guy at a time, and we'll say whether we both have him or not. So Donovan Mitchell.
I do not.
No.
Are we picking? So how many are we picking? 7 or 5?
7.
So I do. Okay. I do. Yes, I do.
Weird Cavs season, but his numbers are actually up compared to last year. He's trending toward the best statistical season of his career. Just a very, very strange Cavs season that I don't know what to expect from. Jalen Johnson.
I do. I think this is an absolute slam dunk. I mean, you had mentioned it. I was wondering if he was going to be a starter. Just with the numbers that he was putting up, they're just not winning enough. But his numbers are like just eye popping. Like he's 23, 10 and 8, 23, 11 and 8.
Yeah.
Just exploding on the scene for sure.
I mean, if they still did it the old way, where it was 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center, he's starting. I mean, him and Giannis are the 2 forwards, and one of those guards. Oh, Jaylen Brown. I forgot about that. Yeah, I guess he's getting edged out. Jaylen Brown would be a forward, so yeah, that doesn't work. But yeah, great Jalen Johnson.
Like, what's Cade? He's a point guard.
Yeah, big guard. Then you have Brunson.
And Maxey.
Yeah, I might be tempted to edge Brunson out of there for Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
Tough. But, I mean, to me, he's a no-brainer all-star. Scotty Barnes.
I do. And I do because I think you have to respect what the Raptors are doing, man. Like, they're putting together a really solid year. And he's their best player. I don't think that this is some sort of fluke. I think they're going to stay in the top 4 of the East. He's a very unique player. I think sometimes you could watch him and you almost don't even realize he's on the floor. But he is their best player, and they're a top 3 team in the East. You gotta give the nod to him.
I agree. Yeah, to me, he was one of 4 kind of sure thing, gotta be on the reserves, along with Mitchell, Jalen Johnson, and then the 4th one for me is Jalen Duren.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
The last three is where it gets tough, and it gets tough partially because just there's not a whole lot of depth of talent in the East where we're looking for guys. So the last three for me that I had, and then I wanna briefly cover toughest cuts before we skim through the West. I have Karl Anthony Towns, Michael Porter Jr., and Josh Giddey, and I don't feel great about any of them.
I have two of the three. I have
Okay.
Karl Anthony Towns, Michael Porter Jr., and Norman Powell.
Okay.
Uh,
Norm Powell was my second toughest cut. My toughest cut, and I cannot believe that I'm at this stage. Did you consider Joel Embiid at all?
no, I didn't, but I will say I watched him play the Rockets um, the other night, and he had 30 plus, and they won. That's gonna be like a team I'm not trying to see in the playoffs if he's right.
Mm-mm.
Not even right. If he's just what he is right now. Because he can't average 30 through the series. I don't think at this point, though, he needs to with the way Maxey and Edgecombe are playing and if Paul George stays healthy with Oubre and, if McCain ever gets going. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
have a bunch of young players. I'm forgetting somebody else, too. Grimes.
Yeah.
So uh, uh, he's got potential like every third game to get 30. That would be an
Well,
interesting playoff run.
so just for his all-star case, and it's flimsy, I'll admit, but like again, it's a testament to the lack of depth among the rest of the East, like honorable mentions. He's played in 24 games only. That's low. 30 minutes per game, but he's averaging 24 and a half points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists per game. Over his last 10, since January 1st, he's averaging 27, 8, and 4 with 54% shooting, and Philly's 7 and 3 in those games.
Yeah.
Like, this is significantly better play from Embiid than I thought they were going to get this year.
Oh, absolutely. I thought after last year it was over. I
I thought
thought,
it was done.
yeah.
I thought we were in like the Patrick Ewing playing in Orlando,
Yep.
Hakeem playing in Toronto kind of phase of Embiid's career. Okay, Western Conference. We got to be out of here soon. Reserves. I'm just gonna go my seven, and you tell me if you have anything different. I have a
Yep.
feeling we might go 7 for 7 here. Anthony Edwards,
Yep.
Kevin Durant,
Yep.
Alperen Şengün,
Yep.
Jamal Murray,
Yep.
who is absolutely balling out, and I love to see it. Devin Booker,
Yep.
Denny Avdia,
Yep.
Kawhi Leonard.
No.
Ooh, okay. So who's your seventh guy?
Chet Holmgren.
He was my toughest cut.
I think they're such a good team to only have one All Star. I went with him. But Kawhi is having a really solid year.
The
And
Kawhi numbers are kind of bonkers right now.
yeah, yeah, and they're starting to really, I don't want to say hit their stride, but you're starting to see they're going to be in the play-in. Like
Yeah.
they're not going to be a seller at the deadline. They're going to finish strong. They're going to be in the play-in mix, especially with Jimmy going down for the Warriors. So yeah, I did. I went Chet. His defense has been solid. His offense is starting to grow. J Dub hasn't been the second guy. To me, it's been Chet for them. He's
Mhm.
been their second option. So I did. I chose him over Kawhi, but Kawhi's got a great case too. I think either or.
Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong with either of those two. In all honesty, Jokic probably isn't going. Well, Jokic might be back by then, but
But will he play?
like,
Probably not.
yeah,
Realistic.
and if he does play, he's not going to care. Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong with Kawhi or Chet. Um, yeah, so that's it. So we had of the 14 reserves, we had 12 the same, six in
Yep.
each conference. Not bad.
Yep. Yep.
Um, Do you think real quick last question, do you think they find a way to get LeBron
Yeah.
into this game?
Well,
Because
they
they're
talked.
going to have more than 8 international guys.
Yep, yep. And they talked about, I think it was on the Hoop Collective maybe, or maybe it was on the Zach Lowe show, where the NBA has come out and said, like, the structure is going to be weird this year with the format, so we're probably just going to add more All Stars at the end of it. So yeah, 100% LeBron's going to find his way. I, is this his last year? We could end. No. Okay. So I still think that they'll find a way. Um, Especially, I mean, they're putting patches on his jersey. That they're not gonna not put him in the All Star game.
Here's the thing. I've followed LeBron very, very closely for almost a quarter century now. There's no way he's going out during a season that is as tumultuous off the court as this. And B, he's gonna have a retirement tour.
I would think, right? Like,
And I've said this since he left Cleveland the second time. He's ending his career in Cleveland. I firmly believe that. I would bet money that he plays for the Cavs next year. I do think next year is going to be his last season, but I think he's gonna end as a Cav.
man, Cleveland to him is that ultimate high school like sweetheart who like you date her for a while, then you break up, you go to college, you go to Miami, you find something else, but then you come back home from college and you go right back to the high school girlfriend, but then you get that cool job in LA, so you go there and then you find like a loved one, but they start talking bad about you, so then you go back home and there's that high school girlfriend at that sports bar and you link up and she's still got your Letterman jacket and you run off into the sunset. I feel like that's the LeBron Cleveland experience.
Yeah, like they're both divorced by this point. Like they're ready to settle down. They're like, okay, you're my one true love.
Like I hate
I
you some. I know like
Yeah,
you
like
did me
we get
dirty.
on each other's nerves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my heart belongs to you.
Yep.
I think that's LeBron with Cleveland. That you painted a great picture there, Vin.
So yeah, we could expect to see Cleveland back in the LeBron Letterman jacket, with LeBron, at some sports bar.
I've got all my LeBron Cavs gear ready to go.
Absolutely.
I'm ready. I'm ready to take it out of the bins and wear it again.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's what it needs to be. You don't want to see LeBron end his career in a marriage outside of that. That
No.
wouldn't be the story that we want. So, but interesting to see where this goes in the second half of the year for LA because their roster is interesting. Now there is a lot of issues with like their chemistry. It seems like so. And when LeBron wants to make things messy, he could really do that. So I'm interested to see if they fall out of the playoffs and go into the play-in, and it's exciting. Buckle up.
That's why he's divorced so many teams.
That's right.
That Cleveland thing is just hanging there.
Yep.
He can't get over it.
Nope.
All right, my man. Go watch a game in our hometown.
That's right.
I don't know if the game is in Elba or somewhere
It
else.
is.
But
Yep. It's back where we used to rock out with Chuck Ferrantino. So yeah,
Sherwood Gymnasium.
that's right.
Do they still have the Sherwood Shakers? Is that still a thing?
I don't think so. I don't think
That's
so.
a bummer.
No Sherwood Shakers anymore. I don't even know if they have. I don't even know. I don't even know if they have a student section name. But
That's
yeah,
a
we'll
bummer.
be there. We'll be checking them out, watching some high school hoops, and then we got a fun day of college basketball today, and soon enough we'll have NBA starting on Sundays. That's going to be exciting, and yeah, we're fully in basketball season here. Now that the Bears are out of the playoffs, we're just locked into hoops for the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but having basketball to fall back on is pretty nice. Yeah, so we'll actually be back on on the Modern Flame feed a little more frequently in the upcoming weeks. I know we want to do a pre-trade deadline pod where we kind of speculate on what might be coming. We're going to do a post-trade deadline pod where we dissect everything that did happen. Vin, go catch the Elba Lancers in action. Go Lancers.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back very, very soon. Take care, buddy.
All right, my man. Stay warm. Love the hat. Shout out the hat. Check the merch. You can find it at the store.
The store called Amazon.